Today I'm going to be talking about Motorhead City Kids, and I'm just going to do a playthrough real quick and I'll show you the riffs, but I'm going to do the Larry Wallis style. Larry Wallis is actually the first guitar player, right? But he's actually a pretty cool guitar player. I'll talk more about Larry Wallis and his connection with Eddie Clarke, I think, because when you enter a band like Eddie Clarke did, and there was already a guitar player and you already have an album out, there's sort of a tendency to sort of continue from where that person left off. So I do see some similarities. I'll point that out in another video. But today we're going to basically look at City Kids as it was recorded on the first album, which is On Parole. Okay, so this guitar, we're going to go with this again. You can see my settings. So one thing that I did that kind of dialed in the sound for me is that this is a 1 watt head. So I had to go to the 0.1 watt mode because no matter how much gain and distortion you have, there's this other notion of turning up the amp, right? Because that will in turn give you a little bit more distortion. So I couldn't really turn up the 1 watt amp because the 1 watt amp at 1 is like too loud for this room. So there's a 0.1 watt setting on the back, and then I'm using that, and then I was able to sort of dial in the sound, which is which I'm kind of happy with. So City Kids, basically, so I'll show you the riffs and then I'll play through it. And I have to sing this one because without the singing, it's not going to make sense because it's just like a punk rock kind of, like chords type song. So we'll just start out. So remember, we're playing it like On Parole, like the first one. So this is tuned to half step. So what I found out that was kind of weird was that maybe the very first album with Larry Wallis is half step because it's tuned to half step, but it's way over here. Okay, so I'm going to play it up here, which is basically, if this were tuned to E, it would be F sharp. Okay, and then whereas like in the first Motorhead album, the one with Eddie, it's different. It starts off in E. It starts there, but the first one is this one, F sharp. Okay, so we're going to start there. I'm going to just show you the riffs, which is really easy. So this kind of reminds me of what? Tell me what this reminds you of. I'll play it in E for just 1 second. Like, what does that remind you of? Born to Be Wild, right? So that came out in 1968. So it's that same kind of pattern here. I think I need to turn it up just one little bit here. Okay, so that's the riff, basically just kind of a climb down, right? So, which is basically 9, 5, and then 7, right? And then we're just going to play that, we're going to sing over that. When we sing over, we're going to do this. So it's basically 7, and then, so it would be E and then B. Remember, when I say E and B, it's that convention where this is half step, but we just call it E and B, but it's actually 7th, right? 7th fret, right? Just to make it easier. So that's what's going on under the verse. That's pretty much it. And then what we do is when we do the chorus, it's that thing again. Don't keep up behind me, you know where to find me, 'cause I'm always around. Right? So same thing, which is basically 7th fret and 9th fret, which will be B and then C sharp, okay? So just 1 fret down here, so it's like, that's one riff. That's the verse riff. Then this is the chorus. And this is that ending part. That's pretty much it. I think when Wallis was in the band, it's more punk rock because if you know the history, Larry Wallis was in this band called Pink Fairies. What happened in that band, it's like more punk rock. So I think it kind of morphed Motorhead into that kind of punk rock, early punk rock, kind of 70s, very sort of British kind of sound. That's what I get from here. And in the first album, Lemmy's actually singing. I'm talking fast because I'm trying to cram all this information in. I got to leave in like 10 minutes. So anyway, and I have the lyrics here. If I butcher the lyrics, I'm sorry. But I have it right here. If I could kind of, coordinate that. Okay, so here we go. If I don't sing it, it's just going to sound kind of monotonous, me going over it. So I'm just going to play through it, guys. Okay, so here we go. As Lemmy would say, City Kids, boys and girls. Nobody knows. guys, thank you. I'll talk to you later. Talk more about Larry Wallis later, right? I could have extended that solo, but I kind of, like I said, I don't have like a complete setup. But the solo is basically, you know, F sharp, right? So it's like this, up here in this position. I just played in that position. Okay, guys, I hope you found that enjoying. Like I said, if I fucked up, you know, it's no big deal. I'm just gonna fuck around. And I'll talk to you later, all right?